Well, you said ethics. Why are ethics important to you?
People think Bitcoin is a technical thing, but no. By this guy called Rawls, who's sort of I would say more of a liberal, actually.
Wait, so you went to the University of St. Andrews, right?
That's correct.
And then Edinburgh, but you studied philosophy.
Yeah. Well, because, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have like a specific thing in mind. And I always liked philosophy. I was on the debate club in high school.
Oh, really?
And
I can see that.
yeah, I was the captain of the debate team.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I could totally see
I
that.
was totally insufferable, yeah. And so you would always, that was my introduction to philosophy, actually, because so we did Lincoln Douglas debate, which is like, you have sort of like a 6-minute exposition and a 7-minute response, and it's like kind of pretty long form. So you have the time to develop concepts. And so I always would search for like a philosophical basis for, the topics being discussed. And so that was actually, I got a, pretty practical introduction to philosophy through debate, which is like, let's find support for these ideas. Let's not just assert things.
Right.
And I liked ethics, and I found it interesting, and that's what I did. At St. Andrews, the philosophy building is so St. Andrews is like a pretty small Scottish village. It's like maybe 15,000 people, and the philosophy building is called Edgecliff. And it's like literally on the water, on the cliff, and I just spent a lot of the time there, just sort of staring at the ocean, not really paying attention. But yeah, it was a good place to study.
Well, you said ethics. Why are ethics important to you? Because one thing I've really liked and noticed about the space in Bitcoin is people are very driven by ethics, and ethics are an important value to them.
Yeah, everything we do is impregnated by ideology, whether or not we realize it. That's very much the case for Bitcoin, right? People think Bitcoin is a technical thing, but no, there's principles embedded in Bitcoin. I mean, a respect for property rights, a desire to have a fair issuance of money, right, through the mining mechanism, a monetary policy which can't be altered by humans, right? These ideas are political ideas, right? When Satoshi designed Bitcoin, they would have said, okay, well, what would I want a monetary system to look like if I could design one from scratch, right? And we never had the ability to do that before. We inherit the monetary systems, right? So there's all this path dependence, and you're just left with this institutional baggage. It's like, yeah, this is just the way it works. The Fed sets the price of money, and that's it. Bitcoin is a from scratch reinvention of monetary policy. And it's funny. It's actually very similar to this thought experiment in political philosophy by this guy called Rawls, who's sort of I would say more of a liberal, actually. And I certainly don't agree with him on everything, but he had this idea of you should reason about things as if, especially like the allocation of resources in society, you should reason about political structures as if you didn't know where you'd fall in the structure, right? So he called it the veil of ignorance. It's not just his own concept, but others have talked about it too. So basically, if you were to design a new political system or monetary system from scratch, you should think about it from the perspective of you don't know what your status in that society is going to be. And
whether you'll benefit,
And because you don't want to be self-serving, right? Because, if you're designing a new constitution or something and you're already an elite in the current system, you're probably going to make it very sort of top-heavy and things like that. So I don't know. I think given that we're in the business of sort of like money and, that affects everything in society, it's important to actually reason about these things. So I'm really glad that I spent the 4 years doing that.
Okay, wait, so I want to hear how you got into Bitcoin. So I read that you first learned about it in like 2012, and you were on forums and you thought it was really interesting, and then you finally started to dabble by doing tipping, right? Is that what happened?